भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, text number 16. Atraiva Mayadhamana Avatare Hyasya Prapanchasya Bahisputasya Krishnasya Chantaha Jathare Jananya Mayatvam Eva Prakati-kritam te atraiva maya dhamanāvatare yasya prapanchasya bahisputasya Krishnasya chantar jathare jananya Maya tvameva prakati-kritam te atraiva maya dhamanāvatare yasya prapanchasya bahisputasya Krishnasya jantar jathare jananya Maya tvameva prakati-kritam te atraiva maya dhamanāvatare yasya prapanchasya bahisputasya Krishnasya chantar jathare jananya Maya tvameva prakati-kritam te Mataji's. Srimad Bhagavatam Krishna Janda Jakare Jananya Maya Tvameva Prakati Kritam Te. Atra, in this, eva, indeed, Maya Dhamana, O subduer of Maya, Avatare, in the incarnation, he certainly, Asya, of this, Prapanchasya, created material manifestation, Bahi, externally, Sputasya, which is visible, Krishnasya, entire, Cha, and Antaha, within, Jathare, your abdomen, Jananya, unto your mother, Mayatvam, your bewildering potency, Eva, indeed, Prakati, Prakati Kritam, has been demonstrated, Te, by you. Translation: My dear Lord, in this incarnation, you have proved that you are the supreme controller of Maya. Although you are now within this universe, the whole universal creation is within your transcendental body. A fact you demonstrated by exhibiting the universe within your abdomen before your mother Yashoda. Purport: Lord Brahma here describes the inconceivable spiritual potency of the Lord. We may find a pot within a house, but we can hardly expect to find the house within the same pot. By the Lord's spiritual potency, however, He can appear within this universe and simultaneously exhibit all the universes within His body. One may argue that since the universe is seen by Mother Yashoda within Lord Krishna's abdomen, where within the Lord's body, they are different from the illusory material universes manifest externally. Here Lord Brahma refutes that argument. However, Lord Krishna is Maya Dhamana, the supreme controller of illusion. By the Lord's own supreme mystic potency, He can bewilder even illusion herself. Thus the Lord actually exhibited all the material universes within His body. This is Mayatvam, the supreme bewildering potency of the personality of Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this purport, a very beautiful analogy is pointed out. We may find a pot within a house, but we can hardly expect to find the house within the same pot. We can replace the pot with a computer in today's day and age. So imagine a computer in a house. Can you think of the house within the same computer? You might come up with a blueprint of the house in the same computer. You can design the house in your computer. But imagine doing this for the entire universe. And imagine doing this to perfect accuracy. And imagine experiencing that house within that computer or a pot. Krishna can create the house within the pot in a way that you can perfectly experience that house. And within that house, we can experience the pot which contains the house. That's Krishna. Prabhupada, in answer to one person's question, the question was, can Krishna create a stone that he cannot lift? Prabhupada said yes. He can create a stone that he cannot lift, and then he will lift it. That's Krishna. Inconceivable. Inconceivable. Nowadays, our policymakers are trying to do the same. They're trying to come up with solutions for people in general. But because they have absolutely no idea what is ground reality, they're in their own world. They create a blueprint of the country. They create a blueprint of the agricultural society, the farmers. They create in their computers. They create in their small cabinet. And then when you implement it, it is more destructive than constructive. Very often, we like to give solutions to people's problems, but we are not really understanding how can we give solutions. But Krishna is so perfect that he can have that house within the pot to its perfect, not only accuracy, but you can actually feel that house. That's Krishna. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma. I mean, sometimes you just think about it, it's mind-boggling. Krishna is sitting in my heart as a dirty heart, filthy heart. He's sitting as Paramatma, witnessing patiently, turning for when I will turn to him, waiting for when I will turn to him. And not just this lifetime, so many lifetimes, and I've been through the same rot again and again, again and again. And Krishna is sitting there. And Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma. He's not getting confused. Paramatma doesn't get confused, and he doesn't get frustrated either. Sometimes we wait for people, and we keep waiting, and we keep waiting, and then we cross our threshold, and then we give back with compound interest. Right? So sometimes that's our patience. Especially when you're bringing up a child, when you're in a family, when you're really trying to take care of someone, and when the identification of I and mine is too much, one can see that happening. One is patient, but could be very patient for namesake only. But Krishna as Paramatma is sitting in each and everyone's heart, just waiting for us to turn to him. That is Krishna's magical potency. Not only he is orchestrating everything around us for our convenient living in this world, but also being drawn to the eternal spiritual realm of the Lord. Krishna is also sitting inside, directing our thoughts. Otherwise, why is it that we are able to remember things? How is it that we forget certain things, no matter how many times we try to remind ourselves? That's Krishna. So Brahmaji, he's gone through a very, very, in one sense, a very heart-wrenching experience. We can recall from the beginning of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how Mother Earth, she was at one point of time so distressed because of too many asuric forces prevailing. She was feeling extremely drained, because after all, Mother Earth, she wants to give, but at the same time she wants some loving reciprocation. So it's explained, the first chapter of Krishna book, the first chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami is telling Maharaj Parikshit, once when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. Bhumir dripta nrupa vyaja. So she was very much distressed. And how did she go? She went dressed as a cow to attract compassion and love. So she went to Lord Brahma and she told Lord Brahma of her misfortune. So Lord Brahma, he was thinking, what solution should I give to her? And he thought, Lord Vishnu is the only person who can maintain. So let us go to Lord Vishnu. So all the demigods headed by Brahma, they reached the shore of the milk ocean, Shir Sagar, and they appealed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. It is with this understanding that they went. Actually, the understanding with which we approach the Supreme Lord matters. That's why we find in scriptures that sometimes devotees offer with so much love and devotion that Krishna not only eats, but he also eats. He eats Krishna. And we offer to Krishna Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti. Radha Gopinath, they accept just by their glance. But sometimes, in very rare cases, devotees offer with such love and devotion, like Raghunandan Thakur, that Krishna, if you don't eat, what my father, he will be angry with me. So Gopinath comes and eats, finishes of all the offerings. So the demigods were contemplating that Lord Vishnu, tatra gatva jagannatham deva devam vrikshap kapim purusham purusha suktena. Prabhupada says in Krishna book that Purusha Sukta, they were all chanting Purusha Sukta, glorifying Lord Vishnu. Because when we go in front of the Supreme Lord, we want that consciousness. Actually, when we approach the devotee, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. We go with that faith. That this devotee is Vancha kalpataru. Just by respecting him. Prabhupada says in the Krishna book, the first chapter, that when Kamsa was killing the cows and the Brahmanas, he was thinking, Kamsa was telling that actually these Brahmanas are more dear to Lord Vishnu than himself. So if you kill these Brahmanas, that will really hurt Lord Vishnu. So the devotees, the Brahmanas, the cows are so dear to Krishna. And therefore, by offending them, by causing pain to them, one can get superlative results. At the same time, by pleasing them, one can get superlative results. So, pancha kalpadobhyascha kripasindubhye vacha. The mood with which we approach a person, it is to that extent that we could actually reap the benefits of our relationship. Because ultimately, it's all about relationship. That's the difference between Krishi and Kheti. Kheti is just no relationship, so yield. But Krishi is a process of relationship. You're developing relationship with Mother Earth. You're developing a relationship with all her children, with all the infinite worms, with the infinite living beings everywhere. If you take a handful of mud, there is a complete cosmic creation within that. There's an entire creation there. World within a world, within a world, within a world. So therefore these demigods, they were going with this intense desire of taking shelter. Purusha Sukta they were chanting. The master of the whole universe they approached, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's sufferings with great attention. Such a beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam, the details are so important. With great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Suktas. Krishna has made himself available in the form of his holy name. Every morning, Prabhupada has given us the divine process of chanting Krishna's holy names. So whatever Purusha Sukta opportunity that the demigods got, they are getting every morning. So they are all led by Brahma, and as they were offering these intense prayers, they were waiting for some response from Lord Vishnu, that Lord Vishnu will respond. But actually Prabhupada says in Krishna book that they couldn't hear any response. They were waiting. And then it's explained, Giram samadhau gagane samiritam nishamya vedhas tidasan uvachaha. When in trance, Lord Brahma, he heard the words of Lord Vishnu. How did he hear? He heard them vibrating in the sky. He told the demigods, "O demigods, hear from me the order of Shirodakshaya Vishnu." It's very interesting. The words are vibrating in the sky. The Gagan. They were vibrating. But they could not hear. The demigods could not hear. And Brahmaji is saying, hear from me the vibrations of Lord Vishnu, what he's saying. So Prabhupada says, this is disciplic succession. They've all approached the Supreme Lord, and Lord Vishnu is actually speaking. His vibrations are there in the sky. Brahmaji points out. But they're not able to hear. And Brahmaji says, hear from me the order of Shirodakshai Vishnu. So there are some 3 orders that Lord Shirodakshai Vishnu gives. And please execute it with attention. So the first, he says, is that the Lord, he says that he's already aware of the distress. He already knows our distress. Krishna knows. Krishna, he is all-knowing, he's supremely knowing, he's supremely merciful, and he's also supremely powerful. It's only a matter of connecting to Krishna. Krishna is wanting to give, but do we want to take? So here, they had developed the intense desire, they had plowed their hearts to make it fertile enough for the seed of Lord Krishna's instructions to be sowed. So the first instruction Brahmaji is imparting is that Vishnu already knows our distress. He was already aware of the distress of the earth. Sometimes it's so bewildering. You work so hard and then you find, well, I'm not just getting the results. Well, Krishna knows what is good. Am I just trying to connect to Krishna? Or am I making all efforts to disconnect from Krishna? Am I covering my ears, covering my eyes so that I just cannot perceive the existence of Krishna? Or am I making an endeavor to at least lava matra, to even a little prasada leshanugrahita evahi, even a lesha, even a little bit of that prasad am I trying to achieve? So here, the demigods, their only qualification was that they went with Lord Brahma and they were listening to Lord Brahma. So he says, Brahmaji says, he knows the distress. Consequently, the Lord has expressed his desire to advent. He is going to advent. And as long as he advents, as long as he moves about on this earth, to relieve of its burden, all of you demigods, what should you do? You should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons in the families of Yadus. That's the first instruction. Here's something for you to do. Appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons in the family of the Yadus. Then the second point. Here is an instruction for all your wives. So just like you appear in the families, all your wives should appear, all the wives of the demigods should also appear in order to satisfy Krishna. So it's explained by our acharyas that because many of these damsels had expressed a desire to be gopis of Krishna, so they had taken birth as wives of demigods, and now was the opportunity for them to participate in Krishna's pastimes. And then he said, the foremost manifestation of Krishna is Sankarshan, who is known as Ananta. He is the origin of all incarnations of this material world. So before the appearance of Lord Krishna, Lord Sankarshan will appear just to please the Supreme Lord, just to make arrangements for him, for his advent. And then he explained the potency of the Lord, known as Vishnu Maya, Yoga Maya, who is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Atraiva Maya Dhavanavatare. Here also, Maya Dhamana, or subduer of Maya. So Krishna has Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. And Prabhupada says in so many places, they're actually both energies of Krishna. And depending on whether one wants to serve Krishna or whether one wants to be away from Krishna, the energies will act. This potency acting in different capacities captivates all the worlds, both material and spiritual. At the request of her master, she will also appear with her different potencies in order to execute the will of the Lord. So in this way, Brahmaji transmitted the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's very interesting that the first mention of the advent of Lord Krishna we hear from Lord Brahma in the first chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And here Brahmaji is again offering prayers. He's gone through a bit of a surgery here, the Brahma Vimohan Leela. He was trying to perform Krishna Vimohan Leela. It was not possible. Not possible to bewilder Krishna. Not possible to play with Krishna's energies. Krishna has all energies, material or spiritual, you cannot play with it. And here Brahmaji, again, the way he gave his message to the demigods, we may or may not get the message from the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Day in and day out we might be performing the same pastime, trying to perform the same pastime. Let me bewilder Krishna in another way. Let me show my prowess to Krishna. Let me show how good I can sing, how good I can speak. But here we can listen to the prayers of Brahmaji, the way the demigod listened to Brahmaji, and we can get the same effect. Prabhupada says that experience is the best teacher, but it is not that everyone has to experience, because experience is the best teacher and a fool learns no other way. So we don't have to experience it. We can hear from Brahmaji. We can again find in the Srimad Bhagavatam this inconceivable potency of Krishna. How Krishna, even though he is the source of everything, he is still appearing in this universe. Brahmaji is saying, you have proved that you are the supreme controller. Although you are now within this universe, the whole universal creation is within your transcendental body. So when in the prison of Kamsa, by divine arrangement, from the heart of Vasudeva, Krishna entered the womb of Devaki. And then the 400 Vishnu form appeared from the womb of Devaki. Prabhupada gives a very beautiful analogy. He says, just like when the sun is setting, in one sense its energy is diminishing, but it transfers its energy to the moon. It transfers energy to the moon. Amazing. And then the moon rises. What a beautiful analogy. Similarly, when Krishna, he advented from the womb of Mother Devaki as 400 Vishnu form. So just like the sun sets and moon rises. And he saw the beautiful both of them saw the beautiful transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. In the Brahma Samhita also we find that the sun and the moon are given such importance. And they are the two eyes of the Supreme Lord in His universal manifestation. I was just recently studying that in traditional agriculture, the moon and sun both are very important. The different phases of the moon, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan of the moon, and Uttarayan and Dakshinayan of the sun, both play an important role. Because the moon, Krishna explains the Bhagavad Gita also, right? Pushnami chaushadi sarvaha, somo bhutva rasatmakaha. From the som, the ras comes. The plants, amazing. It's Krishna's energy. The sun gives light, the moon gives ras. And therefore, traditionally you used to sow seeds during the descent of the moon. You would take care of growing plants in the ascent of a moon. These are considered important. So, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were completely awed by the beautiful transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. And at that point of time, Vasudeva offers some beautiful prayers to Lord Krishna, to Lord Vishnu. And he points out, how is it that you, Supreme Lord, have advented from the womb of Devaki? You are the Supreme Lord. When Lord Vishnu is lying in the Karnodakshai ocean, from each pore of his body, Yasyaika nishwasita kalam athavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha. So many universes are emanating. And that same Supreme Lord, how is it possible that you have advented from the womb of Devaki? Very similar kind of exclamation is made by Vasudeva. Then he rationalizes it out. He reflects that, well, even when universes emanate from your pores, O Lord, you enter into each universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then, within each atom in that universe, you enter as Shirodakshay Vishnu. So how is it wondrous that you have appeared from the womb of Devaki? Because everything has emanated from your pores, and you are still there within each and every universe. That's your transcendental potency. On the other hand, our knowledge is so insignificant, but still we are surprised. It's amazing. We are surprised, how did this not work out? Well, how much do we understand? How much do we understand about our own body? How much do we understand about others? I was just, recently I met a person, and he, again sitting on his computer for several years, he was trying to solve the farmers' problems. He thought, I will try to organize villages. But after 15 years, he got so frustrated, I'm not able to help anyone because I don't understand their problem. So then he left his job, basically almost like a sannyasi, with his family obviously. And then he was trying to help the farmers sitting in a city. And now he realizes, I just cannot help them sitting here. So now he has purchased 1 acre of land and he is going below poverty line because he wants to experience their pain. He feels, there's no way I can help them unless I experience their pain. We find even Narad Muni, he cursed Nalkovar and Manigrave. That you are so much absorbed in your Dhanadurmananda, your Durmada. You are completely intoxicated with your wealth. You don't understanding the sufferings of others. You just don't have any idea what suffering means. So here I curse you, that you become trees. Because trees, you'll be standing in one place. You have to keep observing everyone. You can't do anything. Then you might develop some compassion for others. So in order to really help someone, we have to really understand. How much do we understand? And still we are so surprised in this world. I did so much for him. I worked so hard. The project failed. Therefore, sometimes it's, I personally feel it's a good idea to just try to help few people, because how many people can we understand? How many people's sufferings can we understand? But Krishna is so perfect that in one pastime he can help hundreds and millions of souls. Krishna is expert at multitasking. But our multitasking is multi-cracking, because we try to do multiple things and our head cracks. Probably others' heads also crack. So one very beautiful point here made is that even though everything emanates from you, you know everything, you are everywhere, you are all pervasive, you are all knowing. Mother Yashoda, a reference is made to the pastime of Mother Yashoda seeing the universal form within the mouth of Lord Krishna. So this we read in the section of killing of Trinavarta. So after the demon Trinavarta was killed, we find that Mother Yashoda So Mother Yashoda, she picked up Krishna and placed him on her lap, and she started feeding him her breast milk. Now it's very interesting. In many pastimes of Krishna killing demons, Mother Yashoda and the gopis would feel relieved when Krishna would start drinking milk. So it seems that Prabhupada says when a child starts drinking milk, it means that the child is normal. Otherwise, they would be in great anxiety. So Mother Yashoda was feeding Krishna her breast milk with great maternal affection. The milk was flowing from her breast and the child was drinking it. When the child Krishna had almost finished drinking the milk, Mother Yashoda was touching him and looking at his beautiful, brilliantly smiling face. At that time, Krishna yawned. And Mother Yashoda, what did she see in his mouth? She saw the whole sky, the higher planetary systems, the earth, the luminaries in all directions, the sun, the moon, fire, air, seas, islands, mountains, rivers, forests, and all kinds of living entities, moving and non-moving. Just in Krishna's yawning. In fact, this pastime occurred just before Mother Yashoda saw the universal form in Krishna's mouth. So Mother Yashoda apparently saw the universal form twice, universe in Krishna's mouth twice. So it's very interesting that in the mouth of Krishna she saw everything, just as he was yawning. And what did he eat? In the next chapter we find that Krishna actually ate some mud. That's what his friends were complaining to Mother Yashoda about. But in this pastime, all he drank was milk. So this Krishna's magic. He drinks milk, but he manifests the entire universe in his mouth. Because actually, the entire universe is within Krishna. But at the same time, Krishna says in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina mat sthani sarva bhutani nachaham tesho astita. Krishna is still detached. Krishna still says, I am not in them. He is everywhere. He is all pervading. But I am not in them. Because in his beautiful personal form as Shyam Sundar, he is eternally in the spiritual world. And we hear from our acharyas that Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam nagacchati. Krishna doesn't take one step out of Vrindavan. That's Krishna's transcendental potency. He doesn't take one step out of Vrindavan, but he is all pervading. We find in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that Sahagya prajasishtva puro vacha prajapati anena prasavishwadvam eshavo sushta kamadhuk. When Krishna created this universe, he created everything that was required to satisfy the needs of every living entity. Here we find forests, living entities, moving, non-moving, sun, moon, fire, air, seas, islands. Nowadays there's a big phenomenon called the vanishing of bees. Bees are vanishing. Albert Einstein said that if the bees on this planet vanish, humankind will die. Amazing. Because 70% of the cross-pollination is done by bees. If you don't have bees, how will you get your fruits? You won't get fruits. We just think of one thing in isolation with others. So in the US, bees are almost gone. But still they want to eat food. Obviously, everyone wants to eat food. You can't eat nuts and bolts, as Prabhupada said. So then they have 5,000 acres of almond trees in California. 5,000 acres. Just one crop. And why? Just for selling and making money. But there are no bees. How will you have almonds, or forget almonds, anything else without bees? So because bees are vanished, what do? Every year they get bees. Don't ask me how much, but they get bees, tons and tons of them from Australia. Why? During the pollination season of almonds in California, they need to get these bees so that there is cross-pollination and you get almonds so that they can make money. That is the finance industry. And what happens? Almonds grow for 3 or 4 months. What happens after 3 or 4 months? Bees, there's nothing else for the bees to survive. They die. Can you imagine all the bees that they obtained visas from to enter from Australia? All of them die. Next year what they do? Again they get bees. Such an artificial system. Here Krishna, in his mouth, he has manifested everything. He shows everything as a unit. Most of our prediction techniques, even stock market prediction, they are all linear. Based on today's prices, etc., what will be the price tomorrow? Krishna's creation is not linear. Krishna's creation is cyclic. Everything is cyclic. You look at rising and setting of sun. You look at the Uttarayana and Dakshinayan. You look at creation. You look at yugas. They're cycles. Bhuta gramas evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Ratra gamevesha partha prabhavanti aharagame. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. It's all cyclic. Therefore, jivo jivasya jivanam. There's a cycle. But we break that cycle and we want everything linear. So Krishna, in that mouth, he has manifested everything. It's very clear that we cannot play with material nature because everything is created from Krishna. In the next chapter, Krishna again showed his universal form to Mother Yashoda. Actually, next chapter 8 of Krishna book, Prabhupada talks about how Garga Muni was sent by Vasudeva from Mathura. He requests him to go and meet Nanda Maharaj. Why? To find out the future. Look at the astrology of Krishna. What will happen? What are the pastimes he will enact? Is he going to be safe? Because they were parents. Vasudeva and Devaki were very concerned. The amounts of hardship that Vasudeva and Devaki went through to bring about the birth of Krishna, appearance of Krishna in this world, are unimaginable. Unimaginable. Prabhupada says they did not have the joy of experiencing Krishna's childhood leelas. All parents, they've experienced such sweetness in the childhood leelas. But those childhood leelas don't remain forever. Some other leelas start when they grow up. But Vasudeva and Devaki, they couldn't experience that childhood leelas. In fact, when Lord Vishnu appeared, Mother Devaki, after Vasudeva's prayers, Mother Devaki was also praying that Krishna, it's so amazing that that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but you have appeared from my womb. As she is offering prayers, Krishna tells her that, oh, Devaki, you and Vasudeva are none other than Prishni and Sutapa. And when Lord Brahma had instructed you to progenate, you had prayed, you had performed austerities, you have performed such severe austerities. I appeared in front of you. And what do you ask Krishna when he appears in front of you? Prabhupada says, she could have asked for liberation, she could have asked for deliverance from this material world. But Krishna wanted an agent to appear in this world. So because of his Yogamaya Shakti, Prishni, she asked, please appear as my son. So Krishna says, instead of asking for liberation, you ask me to become your son. Why? Because of my illusory potential, my Yogamaya Shakti. And then you appeared as the parents of Lord Vamana. I appeared as Vamana, and you appeared as Kashyapa and Aditi, and now you have appeared as Devaki and Vasudeva, and I'm so pleased by your service. So Krishna actually assured, Lord Vishnu assured her liberation in this life. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they experienced such hardships. At the same time, beautiful transcendental pastimes in the prison of Kamsa, and now they don't have Krishna to look after. They don't know what's going on with Krishna. So Vasudeva is very concerned. So he sends Garga Muni, please go and meet Vasudeva. And then we find that Garga Muni, he expresses apprehension. Nanda Maharaj, he goes and meets Nanda Maharaj on the request of Vasudeva, and Nanda Maharaj is requesting Garga Muni, please give names to Krishna and Balram. Let's have the name giving ceremony. And Garga Muni is extremely hesitant, because he gives hints also that what if people come to know that actually this son of yours is the 8th child of Vasudeva and Devaki. So he gives hints that actually Krishna is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, because Prabhupada says Nanda Maharaj did not know that. He only knew that Balaram was the son of Vasudeva because he had appeared to Rohini. And finally, it's very interesting, the conversation went on, and finally the name giving ceremony and the samskaras were all performed in the cowshed of Nanda Maharaj in very seclusion, so that people in general do not come to know. So right after that pastime, Prabhupada talks about how the gopis come to Mother Yashoda complaining about Krishna. They say, Mother Yashoda, your Krishna, he performs such mischief. Krishna and Balram, they come to our houses, and they come, first of all they come to the cowsheds, and what do? They release all the calves, so that these calves can drink the milk of the cows. And then we go to milk the cows, there's no milk left, because the calves drink all the milk. Yes, mother cow produces sufficient milk for the calves, but she also produces milk for us, because she is our mother also. But Krishna and Balaram, they release the calves, and there's no milk left for us to take from the cows. And not only that, they come home and they break pots of butter and yogurt, and they steal that butter and yogurt. And if they don't find butter and yogurt, or if they don't like it, they'll just pass urine all over. They create such mischief. They distribute this butter to the monkeys. They create such a mess. So Mother Yashoda, she says, oh, is that so? Is that so? Yes, and when they come, their bodies are so illuminated by their jewels. They are adorned by jewels that they are able to find their way. Mother Yashoda says, I will remove those jewels so that they cannot find their way. The gopis say, no, even if you remove the jewels, their bodies are so effulgent, they'll find their way. What is the use of your removing jewels? So like this beautiful pastime of the gopis are basically just trying to remember Krishna by talking about his pastimes of stealing. And Mother Yashoda and the gopis, they look at Krishna, and immediately, just by seeing Krishna, his beautiful form, they're feeling such transcendental pleasure in their heart. So right after this pastime, it's explained that the cowherd boys come to Mother Yashoda complaining, Yashoda, Maya, today Krishna, he ate dirt. I can show you that he ate dirt. Mother Yashoda, upon hearing this from Krishna's playmates, Mother Yashoda, who was always full of anxiety, Mother Yashoda was always full of anxiety about Krishna's welfare. Even Devaki, when Krishna appeared in the prison house, she was very much filled with anxiety. She told Krishna, your 400 form, please just become 200 form. What if Kamsa comes to know? The cruel Kamsa will come and kill. So Mother is in full anxiety, and Mother Yashoda is also in anxiety. She was always in anxiety. She would always bathe Krishna with cow dung, cow urine, with Panchagavya to protect Krishna. Because wherever there is cows and wherever the holy names are chanted, which is like Putana, would not be able to come. So she was in full anxiety. She picked up Krishna with her hands and she wanted to look into his mouth because she just heard a complaint that Krishna ate dirt. Her eyes fearful, she spoke to her son as follows. Dear Krishna, why are you so restless that you have eaten dirt in a solitary place? Kasman mridam adantatmam bhavan bhakshitwan raha. You have eaten dirt. Vadanti tavaka hyate kumaraste agrajo apyaham. Not only the Kumaras, but also Agraja. Your elder brother Balram has complained. This complaint has been lodged against you by all your playmates, including your elder brother Balaram. How is this? What did Lord Krishna say? My dear mother, I have never eaten dirt. All my friends, why are they complaining? They are complaining because they are liars. If you think they are being truthful, you can directly look into my mouth. Because they just lost a game and therefore they are complaining. So Mother Yashoda, he challenged Krishna. If you have not eaten dirt, open your mouth. So when challenged by Krishna, by Mother Yashoda, Krishna, to exhibit pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth. So it's explained that although the Supreme Lord, who is full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's parental affection, his opulence was automatically displayed. So Krishna did not want to disturb her parental affection, and he did not at all. But still, his opulence is swabhaviki. Prabhupada writes very beautifully in the Krishna book that Krishna did not have to exert himself to display his opulences. People try so hard to acquire, you have to perform such gymnastics to sometimes show some mystic power. But Krishna, he did not want to display, he did not want to bewilder Mother Yashoda, yet his opulence was automatically displayed. For Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time. Such a beautiful point. So when Krishna opened his mouth wide by the order of Mother Yashoda, she saw within his mouth, again, all moving and non-moving entities. Outer space, all directions, along with mountains, islands, oceans, the surface of the earth, the blowing wind, the fire, the moon, and the stars. She saw the planetary systems, water, light, air, sky, and creation by transformation of ahankar. She also saw the senses, the mind, sense perception, the three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Amazing blueprint. Not only she saw creation, but she also saw the processes, because the three modes of material nature agitate and create processes. That's why we find so many fights happening, because of modes of passion and ignorance. She saw the time allotted for all living entities. She saw natural instinct and the reactions of karma, and she saw desires and different varieties of bodies, moving and non-moving. Seeing all these aspects of the cosmic manifestation along with herself. She saw herself. As well as Vrindavan Dham, she became doubtful and fearful of her son's nature. And she was arguing with herself, is this a dream? Is this illusion? Has this been manifest by my own intelligence, or is it some mystic power of my child? In the purport of today's words, 10.14.16, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, some people might argue that the universal form seen in Mother Yashoda's mouth was illusory. It was not real. It was just like a PowerPoint presentation, or probably LCD screen. And nowadays we have so many different ways of showing movies. So probably it's just that. But here, and Mother Yashoda is asking herself the same question: is it just an illusory manifestation? Is it reality what I am seeing? Is it just dream? So then she concluded, therefore let me surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offer my obeisances unto Him, who is beyond the conception of human speculation. Let me simply offer my obeisances. This is bewildering. Krishna, your creation is bewildering. And she was again covered, this understanding was covered, and she was just overwhelmed with affection. Actually, it is not that the residents of Vrindavan, they are covered by illusion. It's just that they are overwhelmed by love. There's difference between being covered and being overwhelmed. Just like you might find a person who's very well qualified, and you could connect to him. You could be connecting to him on the level of his position. Maybe he's the CEO of a company, and you make up all show. You arrange your house in such a way that he's impressed, right? So you can be overwhelmed by his position, but you can also be overwhelmed by affection for him, and say, well, I'll just be whatever I am. I'll rather show love to him, right? So like one devotee, he was sharing with me that he went to Venumadri, Ramanwadi, and when he went to Ramanwadi, there was no toilet, there was no arrangement. I mean, he had to go in the nature, out in the nature. He went with a lota to answer the call of nature, and suddenly on the way, the lota got spilled, the water got spilled, and he had to come back all the way, I think 2 kilometers to get water. Quite tough to answer call of nature in very natural conditions. So difficult. He had to take bath in darkness, and he didn't know. He was trying to reach out the soap, but the soap fell from his hand. He was so scared. What if a snake comes in my hand in the darkness? So of course, no sophisticated arrangement was made for him. But he says he recalls this his stay there with such fond memories, because they didn't make a great show just to impress him. He was very happy. So yes, we can connect to this Mother Yashoda. Is she overwhelmed by Krishna's potency? Yes, he has an opportunity to impress Krishna. Or is she overwhelmed by love? So it's not that the residents of Vrindavan are an illusion. They are actually the greatest, most knowledgeable personalities, but they are overwhelmed by love. And that love, in front of that love, all that knowledge doesn't stand. So that's the choice we have. Lord Brahma, at one point of time, he was thinking, here, let me test Krishna. And now he's just surrendering to Krishna. Krishna, jananta eva janantu. Some people may say they know you, some people may say they don't know you. I can only conclude, your vaibhavam tava ugocharat. I just cannot understand you, Krishna. I just want to surrender to you. Mother Yashoda is saying the same thing. Let me therefore just surrender into the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offer my obeisances unto Him. And after a couple of verses, Mother Yashoda is again overwhelmed by motherly affection for Krishna. Why don't I need to take care of him? What does he eat and dirt? So very beautiful prayers offered by Brahmaji. So it's a small, insignificant effort to try and meditate on his prayers. I think we have run out of time. So if there's maybe one question, or we could conclude. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.